Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sacrificed with us his commandments and commanded us to kindle the Hanukkah light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavotenu mayamim hahem b'zman hazeh.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who performed miracles for our forefathers in those days at this time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has granted us life, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this occasion.
Hi, I'm Zoe.
And I'm Eric.
And this is Tesla the Holiday Kitten. And we are from One More Bite with Zoe and Eric.
And we just celebrated our first Hanukkah.
Well, your first Hanukkah.
My first Hanukkah.
This was my 26th.
So we just lit some candles, and we said prayers.
Yeah.
So what is the significance behind doing that?
So, back during the time of the Second Temple in the Holy Land in Jerusalem, the Jews were living there, and the very mean king, Antiochus, came in with his soldiers, and they decided that they wanted to get rid of the Jews. So they gave them two choices. You can convert or you can die. And then they set up Greek idols and altars in the temple, basically, to desecrate it. And instead of rolling over and dying, a group of Jews, called the Maccabees, became resistance fighters and went up into the mountains, and they were basically like guerrilla fighters. They came down and they fought the soldiers on a need-by basis, and eventually they finally beat them and drove Antiochus and all of his soldiers out. When the Jews came back into the temple, they realized that there was only one jar of oil to light the Ner Tamid, which in every synagogue across the United States and in Israel, most likely, and I have no idea about Europe because I haven't been in a lot of synagogues in Europe, but is this called the eternal light, and it's pretty much always on. In my synagogue growing up, it was like a little red light in a little glass thing hanging from the ceiling that was always on. It never turned off. So they only had one jar of oil, and it would only last them one day because the messenger that was going to get the oil, it would take him 8 days to go get the oil and bring it back. So they lit it, and the oil lasted for 8 days, which is why we light 8 candles.
That's certainly steeped in a lot of tradition, but I know there are more traditions. So what other kind of traditions are surrounded by Hanukkah?
So on Hanukkah, there's a traditional game. It's called dreidel. I don't actually have one with me right now, but it's a 4-sided top with 4 letters on it, Nun, Gimel, He, and Shin, and is a game that you play with gelt, little chocolate candies, and you spin it, and each one means something, and traditionally children play it. On another note, since this is a food blog and we love food, but you have to understand that Jews love food too. Most of our holidays actually revolve around food, or at least have some food component. Hanukkah is no different. We have latkes, which you've probably heard of, potato pancakes, eaten traditionally with sour cream or applesauce, and sufganiyot, which are jelly donuts fried in oil.
And I know that they're fried in oil because that brings us back to the menorah and the was olive oil that they used, correct?
I have no idea.
So I that might not be true. I think I'd heard that, but I do know that's why
it's entirely possible. Olive oil has been around for a long time.
I know that's why we eat fried foods.
Yeah, it is actually.
So that's a lot of fun. And speaking of fun, the menorah you have is pretty fun. So it doesn't seem too traditional. So how are your Hanukkahs with your family?
So we each had our own menorah. Some families only will light one, but we each had our own. Mine is Noah's Ark. My brother Noah also has Noah's Ark, although it's not quite the same as mine. And then my brother Jake has trains, and I can't for the life of me remember what Luke has. But we each had our own menorah, so we would all light our own candles. That is a lot of lighting candles, and considering it takes a ton of candles, because we don't reuse any of these candles. They burn all the way down, and then we put in all new ones.
Right, so that's like about 45 candles?
Yeah,
so,
I think so.
without doing the quick math.
Yeah.
I know there's 45 candles in the box.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was a lot of candles, but my mom had these dish towels like this one, except they had dreidels and menorahs on them, so all of our menorahs would be on these cute dish towels. We would light them, we would say the prayers, and then we would move into the living room where we'd each have our own pile of presents, and there would be 8 presents, and we would just we would open our own presents pretty much immediately as we got in there. We got to pick which one we wanted to open to, which was cool, because I know in some families they'll give you a present for every night. I got a lot of Barbies growing up, but that's all I wanted.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's 8 nights of presents.
Yep.
And so one for every night. And I know that's another tradition.
Yeah, some families change that around, and they'll give more than one present a night. Or right now, so my mother, actually, she'll ask me what I want. I'll give her like 2 or 3 things. She'll buy me those things, and then maybe she'll buy me 1 or 2 others. So I don't necessarily get 8 gifts, but I'm still getting presents, and I don't need to get the presents, but it's traditional. And
as you get, I think with all holidays and all traditions too, as you get older, and you don't necessarily lose the tradition, but you kind of celebrate it more simply.
Yeah, I definitely haven't gotten any Barbies since I was about 12.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of stuff for the kitchen. I occasionally get socks. I like socks. Clothes, sometimes money. Things you can actually use as an adult. When you're a kid, it's so much more about the books, the toys. If you get socks when you're 7 years old, you're like, what the hell is this?
I know, yeah, for Christmas, I know you'd think that you're on the naughty list because you got,
yeah,
coal, socks.
But I think opening 1 present a day also makes you a little more thankful for what you're getting on each of those days. And knowing that you're only going to get 8, because I've definitely seen some of these Christmas trees where kids get like 50 gifts, and I'm just like, that's a lot.
It can be, yeah, and it's always, so myself, I was raised Catholic, and so I've never celebrated. Again, this is my first Hanukkah, so, I mean, I just remember every Christmas, you wake up, you go to the tree, there's, as a kid, of course, there's like a ton of presents, and what did Santa bring me, and you just kind of rip through the gifts, and my family tries to be, restrained, but it's a lot of build-up for one night. Right. And it's nice to kind of spread it over, over a week. It's
definitely nice to have 8 days. And, like, if you have family that can't make it for the first day, they can maybe come on the 6th day or the 7th day or even the 8th day.
Yeah, you see your family throughout the holiday. And, of course, Christmas, if there's a snowstorm or something like that, it's the one day. And
yeah,
no one's going to be coming over in a foot of snow.
Yeah, like my grandparents wouldn't come for every single day, but just having them there for one day would be really, really special.
So that's awesome. So this was a lot of fun, and I know we have a few other things we're going to do, including eating latkes and what's the name for the jelly donuts? Sufganiyot.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll take some pictures of that, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.